Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Today's topic is how to succeed in achieving innovation. A human being and an organization have very similar stages of growth, and these stages of growth in a human being as well as in a company represent that most things in nature have patterns, and these patterns, if carefully observed, can lend multiple insights, and these insights can be very productive if we know when to apply them using our wisdom. So the topic is an interesting one, and innovation is on the top of the mind of every CEO in the world. Every organization in the world of business wants to succeed, wants to be innovative. But not many are successful at it. Why is that? Let's take a closer look and let's understand what is the process behind innovation and what are the characteristics of the companies which have been innovative time and again consistently over several years. So, how to succeed in achieving scalable innovation? That is the topic. First things first, let's ask the question, why do we need innovation? Can a company survive without innovation? The answer is obvious. The answer is obvious because a company is unable to grow without innovation. Without investment in innovation from R&D of fundamental and applied research and engineering the research and development into prototypes and converting those prototypes into commercialized full-scale products and solutions, companies will not survive for long in this world. So, why is innovation required? Because it is a growth imperative. And why do we say it's a growth imperative? Now, there is a concept called the S-curve. Now, if we plot on the x-axis time, y-axis growth, if we plot the journey of companies around the world, they all fit into what is called as the S-curve, which means that in the beginning, when the company is born, growth is slow against time. And then when they hit market success, they rapidly climb, the revenue builds, people and investments go up, and they reach a point when they start to taper as their products and services are no longer relevant in the marketplace. This is common knowledge. Therefore, if a company wants to outlast itself and its competition, time and again, it needs to be innovative. It needs to create multiple S-curves in order to overcome long-term deceleration of growth. Long-term, in our perspective, is 50 years, 100 years. Companies that survive a 100-year period are companies which have achieved multiple S-curves with multiple products in multiple markets, simultaneously investing over the long term in order to sustain themselves over a period of a century. This is the case. And the S-curve clearly demonstrates that large companies definitely go through a process of maturity where there is very little innovation adding value to their top line and bottom line. But as they continue to keep on investing in engineering and R&D, they definitely come up with products which strike a chord in the market, which become successful, and then they are again riding up the S-curve with increasing growth, and over a 3 to 5 year period, the new products and technologies that they invested in start to contribute a substantial part of their top line as well as their bottom line. And in addition to the top and bottom line, they are able to strengthen their brand, re-energize their brand, and rise up in the market space as a innovative leader brand. And this is why innovation is required in order to beat the S-curve, knowing fully well that the S-curve is a pattern which occurs all across nature, no matter whether it's an organization or a human being. So we've established why innovation is required. Now, what is innovation? Let's try to understand it and interpret the message behind the term innovation. So, one way to understand is invention is when there is nothing, zero, and you create something, one. That is an invention. And innovation is when you take 1 to 1,000 or 1 million, that is innovation. The ability to continuously create, capture, and deliver value at scale, that is innovation. In one of the previous videos, we have discussed about 4 ways to create value using the value function. That is, if you look at value as function divided by cost, then there are 4 ways to achieve the creation of value. You can refer to that video. So, value creation can only happen if the company is innovating, and therefore innovation is imperative to value creation and for growth. So, if companies are creating value and they are innovative, what are the factors that allow them to succeed continuously? Number 1 is speed. So, their ability and to develop products and solutions and time to market is extremely fast-paced. And it is fast-paced because the internal environment is unhindering, is untethered for the people who are creating value within the organization. For the innovative teams within the organization, speed is of essence, and speed is already built into the DNA of these innovation teams. So, number 1 is speed. Number 2 is they're all technology savvy. They have a high component of digitalization, and they are digital in their fabric, in their processes, in their value chains, and they are using the latest and are open to continuously changing into the digital platforms that are emerging in the market today while they are in the process of creating innovation. Number 3 is they are lean. Innovative companies and companies which have innovative teams are essentially lean. Lean means that they do not have the flubber or fat of bureaucratic processes and systems that tend to slow down decision making, that tend to mar the accountability and responsibility, and that tend to kill innovation quotient within the teams which are innovating. Therefore, they remain lean. And The fourth important factor, the X factor, is their ability to perceive what is beyond the ordinary. They are looking beyond the core business value. They are looking to boundaries and horizons which does not exist in their frame of reference as in the present day. And it is those companies which create phenomenal amount of value. The ability to think different. So that is how what innovation looks like. Now, let's take a look as to how do we actually come about innovative processes. How do companies innovate? What are the elements? So, the first thing that is required is a clear innovation strategy. A clear innovation strategy that comes straight from the CEO, because it is the CEO who has the full view of the corporate strategy of the entire enterprise. Therefore, it is the CEO who has to drive the clear innovation strategy of his company, of his team. So, clarity in strategy for innovation. Number 2 is leveraging scale. It is not important that a particular innovation succeeds only in the lab or in the rapid prototype stage. What is relevant in life is what succeeds at scale. What succeeds at scale in order for it to contribute to market value and a substantial part of the top and bottom line of the innovation strategy. An outcome of the innovation strategy is the contribution it makes eventually. Therefore, we have to be able to leverage the scale of the enterprise. And there has to be a clear-cut dollar budget assigned to the innovation team for every single project therein which is being carried out in the innovation department, in the R&D department, or in the open collaboration departments, or in the ecosystems in which the company is investing for open innovations. So, money and money resources is extremely important. It has to be available, and it cannot be a reason why an innovation project needs to be paused or stopped. And the top 10 companies in the world which have consistently innovated, they demonstrate all of this. They have a clear innovation strategy, they leverage scale, and they have a good investment budget, innovation budget, but they also have nimble systems which carry out and execute this innovation processes. The process of innovation is nimble, and there is a very clear definitive success factors which is cohesively, coherently, synergistically working in order to deliver that innovation outcome every single year to the company and to the marketplace. So the system, the nimble system of innovation has 5 components. Number 1 is talent. You need talented people with single-minded focus and 100% dedication to the innovation outcomes. Number 2 is ambitious team and ambitious goal setting. There cannot be an approach to achieving low-hanging fruits, because if you want to aim for low-hanging fruits, you'll only reach the low-hanging part of the tree, not even the top of the tree. You have to aim for the stars so that you can at least reach the treetops. Number 3 is a governance model to make sure that the resources and the human capital are integrating well and deploying well, and the flow of innovation process is smooth and unhindered, and therefore governance model that works for the innovation team has to be put in place in order to bring in accountability. And element number 4 is there is always a funnel of project. It's not one project, but a series, a funnel of project in various stages, which is being maintained and developed actively. And there is fifth important element is project management across the funnel, so that the communication is in all directions, top to bottom, bottom to top, and sideways, and clear outcomes is always available as a cockpit chart to every single member in the innovation team, and of course the CEO himself, in order for him to drive, or him or her to drive, the entire process on a monthly basis and make it a key priority of the CEO's agenda. So, clear innovation strategy, leveraging scale, sufficient dollar budget, and a nimble system of innovation process is what is common to the top 10 companies in the world which have consistently come about in the innovation as innovative companies of the world, as innovation leaders of the world. So that is how innovation is being made successful consistently. And when innovation becomes successful within a large organization or a mid-sized organization or even a small organization, the outcome is the teams are able to spot the best market opportunities and seize those opportunities in the right time. That is the outcome of having an effective innovation team or an innovative system within the organization. A machine that produces innovation is always able to choose and pick the best opportunities from the market, seize the opportunity, and then execute it. So we've understood why, what, and how innovation occurs within companies, right? This is insights coming from empirical analysis based on innovation that has been carried out by companies around the world, every single aspect of the market. Whether the market is in the low phase or whether the market is in the high phase, they have gone through this process of innovation without any compromise. And that is how we are able to come up with certain insights and frameworks. Now, let's take a look at the key insights of this entire innovation value chain. So what do we learn by looking and studying at innovative companies? So some of the insights here I've shared. Number one, innovation leaders, they typically invest 1.4 times than their competition, and they achieve at least 4 times more return on sale than their competition. That means for every dollar they put in, they're able to get 4 times more return on sales than their nearest competition in that market segment. That is our first insight. Second, all of them, without exception, have long-term thinking and consistency. They have long-term thinking and consistency. None of them, when it comes to innovation strategy, are looking for short-term results, because strategy does not work in the short term. Strategy is always subtle, and therefore it requires long-term commitment and long-term execution. Number 3 is they are patient when it comes to new product or platform development, because patience is an essential ingredient in experimentation. Experiments are bound to fail, but failing fast and quickly learning from those failures and building again and again iteratively is all about being resilient. And resilience can only come about if there is an underlying patient management team allowing for the resilient, innovative team to proceed. And innovative companies invest more during downturns. They do not pause or stop during the downturns. They invest their cash surplus into the innovation process so that when the market comes back again, they can ride the market wave with innovative products and services a lot more faster and gather a lot more value, capture a lot more value than the competitors in that particular market space. And they're able to enter other market spaces which was otherwise not possible because of long-term consistent innovation investments. Insight number 5, serial success is hard. Repeatable success in innovation is hard. There are many companies which are one product wonders or one platform wonders, but it's very hard to consistently innovate across many years. In fact, BCG, Boston Consulting Group's 1000 company, the 50 most innovation company index shows that they measured 162 companies since 2005 in the BCG Innovation Index, and they saw that only 8 made it consistently up to 2020. That means from 2005 up to 2020, only 8 companies in the world made it every single year. And these are Apple, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Tesla, Samsung, IBM, and Toyota. And you can see from the stature of these global brands, all of them have deep pockets. All of them innovate consistently. All of them have had several failures, but they are resilient and they have long-term commitment to the cause of their brand, the market, the people, and the process. So, what does it take? What is the combination that works in order to be innovative, in order to succeed in the innovation process? 3 things. The CEO needs to guarantee 3 things in the organization to create. Number 1, the drive to succeed. Number 1. Number 2, size. Size is an imperative to achieve scale. It is not essential that only startups and small companies can be innovative. In fact, in the long term, it is the large companies that are able to sustain the innovation process by continuously investing in it and not losing any time because of shortage of budgets or cash deployment for projects. Therefore, scale is also something that the CEO must bring in. And important X factor, skill. Skill embodies everything that we spoke of. The ability for the CEO to create a system or innovation system that consistently produces results, that consistently identifies the best opportunity in the market and is able to seize that opportunity and executes that opportunity in the right time, keeping in mind the competitive forces in which an organization has to always operate. So, drive, skill, and size. This is what is the vital combination that every CEO needs to put in place, the mix, as we say. And finally, there is something called as the AI paradox. And what is this AI paradox? This is something that we will discuss in our next session. But AI paradox is becoming increasingly known to most organizations in the world as digitalization of the world is coming about. Thanks to COVID-19, the biggest change agent, most industrial companies and brick and mortar companies are now getting into an accelerated phase of digitalization of their processes and their entire businesses and even the value chains leading into the marketplace. So, we will look at AI paradox in the next session. I hope you gained from this session and you got some insights on what it takes to consistently succeed in achieving innovation. Thank you.